Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. A hotly anticipated product here today, which has many people excited for a long time. But we have the Maruyama MP9 gas blowback SMG. Comes in a very nice box actually. It's got a little gold handle on it, so I suppose if you're picking it up locally you can carry it around. But very nice box indeed. This, I wasn't sure why they did this, but you know, from a business standpoint, like they released the MP9, and then you've got like the flared magwell, different charging handle, different trigger. It really did surprise me that they included the suppressor with the replica, because from a business standpoint, especially when you expect it from a lot of these companies, it doesn't make sense, because you people are going to buy the suppressor. So, but extremely appreciated that it comes with the replica itself. So I'm just going to quickly, they obviously pack in some bubble wrap for shipping, so let's just quickly get rid of that. And it's kind of a precursor as to why I initially picked up my SPC9. Now the SPC9, you're going to see some gameplay coming on that soon, where I was using the Salvo first, then I was using the SPC9. I love the SPC9. It's a phenomenal platform. On the range, it did very well. Why they can do good SMGs like that and not have the same sort of hop and barrel performance out the box with their rifles, I'm not too sure. So in the box, we get an Allen key, we get a speed loader with an adapter, we get one magazine. Again, this, if you've got the SPC9 or the SCW9, which is basically the APC, they all use this same magazine, and so far these magazines have worked very well. They're extremely lightweight. They've got the faux bullet casings in the, like, as a sticker behind the plastic. The only thing that doesn't make sense to me is a sticker on the back. It just, surely the real counterpart of like a B&T mag doesn't stack like that. It's very weird, but correct me if I'm wrong. So I imagine there's a possibility that you can get this with two mags, because I've got spare space in the box. So you got the mag, we get a shorty suppressor, which is very cool. We can actually try the other suppressor on there as well to see if that fits. So we'll take the mag out, we'll take the suppressor out, get rid of some of this packaging. Do I have a speed loader handy for the mag? I don't think I do, so we're gonna, in this case, open this one up and we'll just steal the speed loader with the adapter there. So feels quite nice quality, to be honest. And then of course the meat and potatoes, the MP9 itself. So we'll get this box out the way so we can focus on the replica itself. So, you know, in terms of packaging, I think they've knocked it out of the park. Very good. Here's the MP9. So it's a little bit different. It's the later generation of the MP9, which I do have. Do I have the lower? So I've got the lower from my KWA one, and you can see size wise it's pretty much identical. You got similar texturing. This one's a bit more aggressive on the grip with the KWA. I'm only showing you the lower because I've obviously switched it out recently. Now on the KWA MP9s you had the trigger safety, and that was about it. You did have a push through selector which give you semi and full auto, but apart from that, I've always been a fan of the molded in grips on the MP9s. I just find them really comfy. I think the rail drops the grip. Like if you've got the rail section here and you want to put like a rail grip on it, just drops the grip down a bit much. I like to get a nice high purchase on it. So it'll be interesting to see if they do different colours, but the main difference that you're going to notice from this, or most will notice from this, is you've got a proper selector. So you've got safe, semi and fun. Nice and easy to do it. Most places you're going to be using this is going to be indoor CQB, so you only really need the two selections, and very easy to actuate. You've got a smaller version of the selector on the right hand side, so if you are a left-handed shooter, I'm not sure if you can swap these around. I would guess not, but you're going to just have to deal with the smaller selector. I suppose you could do it with your trigger finger, but you've also got a ambidextrous mag release, which doesn't matter much to me, but when comparing it to the old KWAs, it's about the same. Just if you are, most people are right-handed shooters, it's going to feel like this is getting in the way of it. What would be nice at some point is if we can have like a blanking plate for that. I suppose it does help if you do switch and you want to pull your mags out, but I can just feel it on the inside of my finger. It's probably a personal preference, but there we have it. The plastic's very nice. It's extremely lightweight. It's not heavy at all. And the one thing that I will say about this compared to what I've seen on videos compared to the KWA. So here's the KWA, but it's in this hybrid lower at the moment. So the KWA had a full travel bolt. So you see it goes all the way back there, which is great, but these guns are very old. They do have their issues. Now on the Maruyama one, it's sort of like a half stroke in comparison. So it only comes back a little bit of the way. I don't know, maybe it is a full stroke and it just looks a little bit off because everything's sort of hidden behind here. That might be the case. So you've got a blue, what looks like a blue VFC style hot rubber. You've got a fake extractor here, which is under spring pressure. Not that it would do anything at all, but the best thing about this is now getting rid of that archaic KWA hop unit with the little ring where you need the key to turn it. Now it's just on the top with a 3mm hex key. It says 3mm hex key? Yeah, that's correct. 3mm, see, 3mm sounds excessive. Surely it's not a 3mm. I do have a 3mm here somewhere. So that's a 3mm. Yeah, you can't even get the 3mm through the hole in the receiver, and this is a 3mm that's, you know, the same length all the way along. So it says 3mm hex key on there. I think that's incorrect. The other ones won't go in because obviously the taper, the shank of the Allen key is obviously a lot fatter, but we can check that out in just a moment. So what I will say is, let's take this off. It's going to feel a little bit different because we've switched the lowers out, but I don't know, actually, it's quite close. It's quite close in terms of weight. So these mags, I think the mags look really good. You can get, so these hold 48 rounds. A lot of websites will say different capacity for the magazines, but I've been managing to get 48 and sometimes 50 in these mags, which is great. You know, instantly you've got plenty of ammo to play with there. What I found was, which you'll see in the gameplay coming up, when I'm using my SPC9, because I was using the salvo beforehand and I'm using like 30 round mags, I was actually changing mag thinking I was empty and I still had like a third of the mag left. So I ended up just changing a bit too often and then had 3 or 4 mags that all had about 10-15 rounds in. So, but it looks and feels great. I mean, the tactile of the mag, it being inserted, isn't as satisfying as the KWA. The KWA's always had that really nice click when you push them in. This is a little bit like the SPC9, where it's just not very assertive in terms of feedback, but it goes in, it stays in. That's the most important thing. The trigger is also a little bit strange. So you've got a trigger safety. So you've got a long pull towards the back. Now we can, again, just test this against the KWA. So the KWA, it was very squishy. So you don't have to pull it as far, but it was very squishy. It didn't really give you notification of where the wall is and where the break point is. So on this one, you've got a lot of take up, and then it's a very positive click. Now my one feels a little bit crunchy, but in terms of trigger, we all know VFC likes to do very well with their triggers. VFC, Maruyama, same difference, but you got your slide release on the side here. It's a little bit of a different profile, so The again, I'm going to be switching between the two just because there's going to be people that ask me a lot of questions. So on the old cables, it was very to the side, and sometimes, not now, but I have been in games years ago when you got gloves on, and for some reason it was just a little bit hung up and I just couldn't do it, so I ended up having to rack the bolt to get it back in. That being said, these handles, when they're clipped in, they ain't going nowhere. Now on the newer Maruyama, you've got this much more, let me fold the stock here so we can take a quick look. It's very much rounded over, so you've got a lot more purchase, which is very, very nice. Again, like I say, it feels like the bolt doesn't come back as long away, but it's very easy to find, very positive to push it down. The one bugbear I do have with this gun out of the box is just how loose and crappy the charging handle is. I mean, these guns could do it. Like so, if I lock the bolt back on both of these, if I pull this from one side, it won't come out. If I pull it from the other side without squeezing, generally it won't come out, and then I squeeze the two together and rack it. This one, however, just moves freely. There's very little retention on there. I think that's something that they could do with improving, or maybe they just want you to buy the optional charging handle, which we may do and see if that's a little bit better. The stock folds, of course. With the MP9s, with the grips, it always made a bit more sense because they have like this geometry on the stock where if you're gripping the foregrip while the stock's folded, it's still fairly comfortable. It's not as comfortable when using it without, but if you've got it folded, you've just got these little cuts, and it just, that little relief makes all the difference in terms of feeling very blocky to very nice and comfy. So it locks into place. It doesn't rattle around or anything like that. It's got a really good fit. We pull it round, it slots at the back, and there is zero wobble in this thing, which is fantastic. Now, what I have seen is there is quite a bit of flex in the stock. So it might not seem apparent there, but when you shoulder it, sometimes you can feel the stock bowing a little bit, but I'd rather that than have a loose hinge, and this hinge is extremely good. They've done a very good job with getting that retention right. Same as the old MP9s, you've just got a little post at the front here and a peep sight at the back. Again, I'm going to fold this stock again so you can see it. Let's clip this in here. So a little peep sight, same as the older MP9s. You do have a little bit of adjustment left to right, but no elevation as far as I can tell. I don't think these adjusted, but feels great. Magazine feels great. The beautiful thing about this as well, I invested in the SPC9. I bought a bunch of these mags. Now, these are coming to the UK. There's various shops that have advertised them already. They're about $3.50. Most people, I would imagine, were buying them abroad because they're about $2.17. Very much over £100 cheaper. So even with this, landed this morning, even with the import, I think I got like 60 quid import. It's still cheap and buy it in the UK. But if you don't want to mess around with the rigmarole of importing this stuff, I think I've been importing that much stuff through UPS now. They've stopped sending me RIF declarations because that used to be a thing. So I hope that I've just had that many replicas come through customs that they just keep my stuff on file and use it. So, but not a lot of import on it whatsoever. I did only just buy the gun in the package that you saw. I didn't buy any extras, but you can get from the likes of WGC and other places, these 48 round mags are around about £23 a mag. If you buy them over in the UK, you're talking like 40, 50, 60 pounds, depending on where you get it from. And so far when I've been using it, they're very good. I'm just going to pop some gas in this mag. I do have, for the most part, I think 5 out of the 6 mags I've got, or 5 mags, work fine. I think there is one that just doesn't accept as much gas as the others, but again, it's just one of them things. Just have to keep an eye on it, see if we can trace down which one it is. So I've got some propane in the mag. The suppressor that comes with it is actually pretty decent. You just unwind this, slide it on like that, and you rock it into place. Now, you can do this in different You might be able to do this in different orientations like that, which you used to be able to do with the KWAs. Yeah, so you can either have it at the bottom or like the 10 and 2 o'clock positions. So if you want to offset your torch, you don't want it underneath, you could perhaps have it on the side, or you want to mount a scope cam or something like that. It's probably better that you have it mounted underneath so it's nice and straight to where it needs to be. So that's as simple as that. You just slide it on, lock it round, and then just turn the ratchet in, and it ratchets on itself, and it's very, very good. Now, if we take this off, I've been looking at buying one of these shorter style B&T suppressors for a while abroad. I do have this one, which I can't remember what it is. It might be like an angry gun or something. Again, completely forgot where I bought it from. You see, like, you see where like they haven't been anodized properly and they've just filled it in with a Sharpie. Yeah. But question: does it fit the new MP9? It goes on. We ratchet it round, and it does seem to fit. So your older accessories for your KWA MP9 barrel wise are going to go on just fine. You've got the same positions. Now I think that these suppressors are a little bit too long. Companies now have come out with shorter models like this. So anyway, I'm babbling. You probably want to hear it shoot. Let's hear it shoot first before we put some rounds in it. So I'm just going to dry fire this semi-auto first. Let's flip it round. Very punchy, very nice. And a very nice rate of fire as well. So I'll lock that bolt back. So far, my only issue with this, real issue, is with the charging handle. But that might be fixable using the option part that they sell. We're going to load some 0.3s into this. Now I'm going to chrono this without the suppressor on, because the suppressor will space the barrel back slightly. So we're just going to set the chrono up here. Oh. I'm going to set it to 0.3s. So 0.3s there. I'll load this mag up. The magazines are incredibly easy to load. I can actually load these on the Vanguard. I do have to kind of force it in place and hold it because it does like to kick off, but it will load. So we'll drop this mag in. We'll drop the bolt. Let's put a round through it. We are at 1.13, so kind of perfect really. 1.1, 1.1, 1.1, 1 joule, 1 joule, 1 joule, 1 joule, 1 joule, 0.9, 0.8, 0.85, and we are starting to drop. So we're going down to 0.7, which we're just purging the mag. So let's get a bit more gas in there. It is filling a lot more now. Now we've purged that atmosphere out the magazine. And a lot of people ask me this about purging magazines. Maruis you don't have to do it on, but anything else, if you've got something that fills and it's like a silent fill, just mag it up when it's brand new, just fire some shots through it like I've just done, and you should be good to go. You just gas it up, you should be good. So let's test the power now. 1 joule, 1 joule, 1 joule. So we bang on a joule with a 0.3, which is great, it's perfect. We ain't got to mess about with it, we ain't got to buy any parts. I'm going to do a little bit of a dump with a mag so you can hear it, but here we go. So it did feed all the rounds. It did struggle at the end there, but we are in cooler times here in the UK at the moment. Similar rate of fire to the SPC, a little bit more gas spit, but we have just dumped a load of gas into the mag. I'm getting low there, so for warmer weather, I think the MP9 is going to be great on auto. What I will say is semi-auto, you're going to be absolutely fine. The SPC in a very cold environment the other last week, I think it was, last Thursday, on semi-auto was absolutely fine. As the gun got cold, I was firing a lot of it in CQB. The round ended, I come to the end and still managed to dump all my mags off on auto into one of the targets there, but do we get any noise difference with this suppressor? So it is a very quiet gun. It's not loud like the old KWA MP9s. In fact, let's have a quick look at the muzzle. The old KWA MP9s were so freakishly loud. Yeah, we've got slightly a bit different geometry there, I think. So it's not going to be as, it's not going to act as much of a loudener as the old KWAs did. But we'll shove this on. This might make it sound weird because this suppressor is completely empty, so it might sound daft. To be honest, it doesn't sound bad at all. However, with this suppressor, you take it off, you put your normal tracer unit on this 14mm counterclockwise thread. So we'll just use something as a placeholder because I don't have a tracer unit in front of me, so this flash hider will do. So imagine this is your tracer unit. You just put your tracer unit on there, slide that over, and this can cater for a wide range of tracer units, I would imagine, because you've got all this space. This thing's completely empty. Can I open it? No, the front seems a bit glued on, but you've got loads of cavity there to put the biggest tracer units on there. You're not going to put a super long one on there, but you know, your short ones, you've got more than enough width on them for what you need to do. So Maruyama have kept the end user in mind. Sorry about this noise. Maruyama have really kept the end user in mind. They've given you some great features out the box. TDC style hop unit. I want to say TDC style is, until we take it apart and have a look what's going on, we don't know if it's TDC or not. But better hop, adjustability, better magazines which are compatible with their full range of SMGs that they do, which is phenomenal. The build quality is great. The stock is nice and sturdy. They give you a suppressor in the box straight off the bat. They may do other models where they just do the bare bones, which might come cheaper, I don't know. And the suppressor they give you is usable because most people are going to want to put a tracer on it. They've automatically given you the adapter that you need out the box and the capacity to hide the tracer. They've also left a bunch of holes in the tracer unit, so if you've got a flash tracer, the light's going to come through. What I would like to try is maybe like one of those short smoky ones, maybe. So they really have thought about the end user here and given you, you know, a product that to me, out the box, is singing all the right signals. Now, we're going to have to shoot this. We're going to have to shoot this in CQB. We're going to have to shoot this at long range and see what the performance is like. But I just love the fact now that if I'm going to a game day, which I'm thinking about going again tomorrow night at HC2, I could take this. It's firing one joule out the box, perfect. And I could take my SPC9, and if I want to switch between the two, I don't have to change up my rig. They're all running the same mags, and I can just have some fun. So, quality, great out the box. The power is exactly where we want it, especially for us here in the UK. The build of the stock and everything like that fitting together is super sturdy. They give you a suppressor out the box, which is actually very well fitting. The suppressor has a 14mm counterclockwise thread to put all your tracer units on it, and the mag infrastructure that they give you is very, very good. The trigger's brilliant as well. It's ambidextrous friendly because you've got the controls on the right and the left. Now, if you're on the left, you're going to struggle a little bit more with the selector, but it's just one of them things. You've got more than enough rail space to put all your accessories on here. So I think Maruyama, at this point in time, again, we haven't got any range results out of it yet, but at this point in time, it's singing all the right signals. It's looking good on paper. I think I'm very, very impressed with this so far. So let me know what you think down in the comments below of this Maruyama SPC9. Sorry, MP9. I'm mixing up my words now. And we'll get some gameplay with this. We'll get some range stuff, hopefully on Friday, if I can find the time, because I'm super busy at the moment. And yeah, I was just praying. I think when I initially fired the SPC9 and saw how good it was, I was like, this fills me with so much hope. I remember shooting the SPC9 and going, holy shit, this thing's really good, and just going and pre-ordering the MP9 straight away. So I would love nothing more than to leave the KWA in the past where it belongs. It's an outdated system. I think if KWA want to keep producing the MP9s, they need to make improvements. They need to make the platform better. The magazines were always a thing with the KWAs as well. They're expensive. I think they held about the same amount of rounds, the 48 rounds. Now you can get 30 round versions of this if you want it to sit flush in the gun. As well, you could get that with the KWAs, but the mags are cheap. They work really well. They're nice and lightweight. They look fantastic. You've got 48 round and 30 round options. Honestly, at this point in my initial overview of this Maruyama MP9, apart from the charging handle, I don't think I've really got anything bad to say about it at the moment, but there's time. So thank you very much for tuning into this video. If you like the video, a like and subscribe would go a long way. I appreciate if you do that. 80% of the people that watch the channel aren't subscribed, so that just paints a picture of the viewership of the channel. And if you could hit that subscribe button, it would be really appreciated. But I won't hark on about it. You can join the Agripsine Discord, so if you've got questions or anything like that on anything that's featured on the channel, join the Discord using the link in the description, and you can join a community of over 2,000 people. Most of them are viewers of the channel. Most of them have got experience as well. So if you've got questions, there's people in there that might have done it already, or they might be able to advise you. Or if you join the Discord and you see us in the voice chat and you've got a question, if we're in the general chat, which is for questions, come in, ask your question. You want to know what's good, what's bad, you want my opinion on things, feel free to pop in. Just be polite and concise with how you conduct yourself, because we do have some people in there that just want to see the world burn and talk over people. If you're polite and everything like that, your questions will go answered, and most nights are in there. So if you've ever got any questions, you can feel free to jump in and get involved with the community. So I'll leave it there. Thanks very much for tuning in, and from me and Bench, we'll be seeing you in the next one.